You don't get what you want, you get what you are. By Jim Rohn. Every person dreams of a better life, a healthier body, a stronger relationship, more money, more time, a fulfilling career, a greater sense of peace. We all want something. But if you look around the world and even look into your own life, you might realize that wanting is never enough. People want to be rich, but stay broke. They want to be loved, but sabotage their relationships. They want success, but keep procrastinating. Ron said, "You don't get what you want, you get what you are." At first, that sounds strange. How can I get what I am? What does that even mean? But when you begin to unpack this concept, it reveals one of the deepest truths in personal development. This article explores that idea from the ground up. We will look at why wanting is not enough, why we keep getting the same results year after year, and how the answer lies not in changing what you want, but in changing who you are. Sells the idea that you can have anything you want, set goals, think big, manifest your dream life. But millions of people do all of that and still find themselves stuck. Why? Because the process stops at the surface. You can't get a six-pack by putting a picture of abs on your mirror. You can't get wealthy by writing down, "I want to be a millionaire," 10 times a day. Wanting something is not bad. It's just not enough. The real question is not, what do you want? The question is, who are you becoming? That's why most New Year's resolutions fail. People set goals that sound good, but they don't build the identity required to support them. Someone says, "I want to lose weight," but they keep thinking like a person who skips workouts. They say, "I want to start a business," but they still carry the fears of an employee. They say, "I want to be confident," but they still feed the same insecurity in their inner dialogue. If you want to change the outcome, you have to change the origin. And the origin is always you. Most people blame their results on external factors: the economy, their parents, their schedule, their partner, their boss. And yes, those things can influence your environment, but they don't define your identity. You can change jobs and still struggle. You can switch cities and still be stuck. You can enter a new relationship and bring the same wounds into it. Why? Because if you don't change who you are, you will keep recreating the same patterns. Life does not give you what you want. It reflects who you are being on a daily basis. If you want more, you have to become more. If you want a different result, you have to become a different person. The moment you understand that you don't get what you want, but what you are, you gain power. You stop waiting for things to change, and you start changing yourself. You shift from victim to creator, from reaction to intention. This doesn't mean you give up on goals or dreams. It means you use them to shape your character. A goal is not just something you hit. It's something that transforms you on the way to hitting it. So how do you start becoming what you want? You begin by identifying the kind of person who naturally has the result you desire. If you want to be fit, what kind of person lives that way? Probably someone who exercises daily, who values health, who doesn't negotiate with their excuses. Then you begin to act in alignment with that identity. You train your mind and body to become that person long before the result shows up. If you want to be wealthy, ask what kind of mindset, habits, and character traits wealthy people have. Do they read? Do they invest? Do they manage their time well? Do they surround themselves with other disciplined people? You don't fake it, you form it. Becoming what you want means closing the gap between your current identity and your future results. That requires awareness. You must catch the habits that keep you in your old self. Do you scroll instead of study? Do you complain instead of act? Do you delay instead of commit? Every time you reinforce that old version of you, you delay the new one. The good news is, identity is not fixed. You are not stuck with who you've been. You can become who you need to be. But it's a process of intention. You don't drift into greatness. You design it. You start with small actions. Instead of wanting to be a writer, you write for 5 minutes every morning. Instead of wanting to be confident, you speak up once a day in meetings. Instead of wanting to be financially free, you track your expenses and create a savings habit. These are not just tasks. They are statements. They say, "I am becoming the kind of person who deserves this life." Over time, those statements compound. Your habits become your character becomes your identity, and your identity becomes your destiny. One of the most powerful things you can do is to act as if. Act as if you are already that disciplined person, that courageous speaker, that consistent entrepreneur. You are not faking it. You are training your nervous system to normalize a new standard. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your identity shifts. Every time you act in integrity with your future self, you close the gap. The results will come, but the internal shift must come first. Your life will always rise or fall to the level of your identity. That's why people sabotage success, because they don't believe they deserve it, because their self-image is still rooted in the old version of them. But the moment you start honoring the next level of you, with daily choices, you stop wanting and start becoming. This is not easy. It requires honesty, discipline, courage, patience. But the reward is transformation, not just achievement. Because you don't get what you want, you get what you are. Most people chase goals without changing their identity. That's why they repeat cycles. That's why they feel stuck. They think they lack motivation. But what they lack is alignment. You will always return to the level of your self-image. So the work is not just in goal setting, it's in self-crafting. When you understand that you get what you are, you begin to focus on becoming, not just wishing. You design habits that reflect your future self. You shift your environment. You train your thoughts. You act with intention. Over time, this creates a new you, and that new you attracts a new life. Stop asking how to get what you want. Start asking how to become the kind of person who naturally lives the life you desire. That is the shift. That is the secret. That is the standard. If this message connected with you, then you'll love the video I made, diving even deeper into how to change your identity and finally get real results. Tap the link, watch it now, and take the first step in becoming the person you were meant to be. And if you want more content like this every week, make sure you subscribe, like, and share this with someone who's ready to level up their life.